The insight I'm going to talk about today is huge. And when I saw this for myself, it literally changed everything about the way I perceived roadblocks and being stuck and just feeling like you couldn't change. So, if you feel like there's always this rut you're stuck in and you just can't change, and just as an example, you have like one of those days where it just seems like everything goes wrong from the minute you wake up. Maybe you sleep through your alarm, and then it's like a cascade throughout the day. And you just feel like you're on train tracks almost. And you just can't get off them. It's just like one thing after another. And then sometimes it builds into days or weeks. And then, depending on the situation, you might start to internalize that and you might start to feel like your life is like that. So, this perception, this realization I had that changed everything about the way I look at those bad days. It's not like I don't have things that don't go quote unquote right, but it just changed how I felt about it. And the thing that I saw is, let's just assume that you have the power, you are creating these bad days, right? Because we have this kind of like tape that we play, like, man, I just can't win. Like, I keep doing this, or once I do this, like, now it's going to turn. Whereas if somebody else did it, it would be okay. I get another stock market thing. Like, if I buy this stock, now it can go down. All this negative self talk. But hidden underneath that is an acceptance of your own power to create something. The only difference is that you're accepting that you can create negative things, that you have the power to create negative occurrences for yourself throughout your day, in stocks, in your job, in people's perception of you. It's actually an incredible thing to accept that you have the power to change things. That's what self creation and manifesting is all about. Again, the only difference is that you're seeing it in a negative way. And so I was kind of caught in that loop as well. And I could not find my way out of it. I kept looking at these things like I'd get just, man, I should just go home and go to bed for the day because it's just not my day. That kind of self talk. And then I woke up one morning. It was right after I woke up. And I caught myself thinking about, am I going to have another day like that? And it suddenly occurred to me that all I have to do is acknowledge the fact that I have the power to create a bad day or a good day. And it was like something, just like a veil, like lifted from my life. This negative energy, this heavy weight lifted. And so, with the same power and efficiency and effectiveness that you can accept that you're cursed or that you're going to have a bad day or that all these negative things are going to happen, that works both ways. Once you accept that, see, you have this in your mind, it's easier to see the negative. So start there. Don't fight that. See that you have the power to create negative things. Then take the negative away and just see that you have the power. Just take the negative away. Once you see you have the power, now you also see that you have the power to have great things, wonderful things with no effort. You can have an awesome day where random, like, you're in the vibe, you're in the flow kind of day, great things happen to you, just like the negative day happened. Just like the negative narrative, you can have the positive narrative. Remember, you didn't consciously do anything to have that bad day. It just felt like all these things were happening to you, right? The world is happening to you. This bad stuff is happening one after another, like dominoes, right? But then, for some reason, we get stuck in that. We miss the I have the power part. and we just go with the negative part. Well, what if you had the positive day, the positive week, the positive month, the positive year, where good things just happen to you? A good life just occurs for you. This is incredibly powerful. At first, it sounds maybe too simple, right? But this is one of those videos, it's one of those topics. There are certain things that are pivotal. Everybody's going to have a different pivotal moment, but I think this resonates for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people who watch this video are going to have a waking up moment, like I did, literally waking up, but you're going to see it. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You can't unsee your power once you see, even in the negative light, wow, I am so incredibly good at attracting bad things. Now just flip it. If I have the power to create negative things, if I'm that powerful and that efficient at bringing these bad things to myself, then I can do the same thing in a positive way with things that I want. It's the same exact thing. And so I'm not sure how I'm going to make this video or this topic stand out on my channel. Maybe I'll just do a bunch of videos, because one thing I do recognize is that you have to wear a new path. You know, it's kind of like walking through the woods the first time. It's hard. There's lots of obstacles in your way. And then every day you go down the path, it gets a little bit easier, it gets more normal. So repetition is important, I think, for our conscious and our subconscious. So maybe instead of pinning this video or anything, I'm just going to keep talking about this particular subject. I'll keep making a similar video about the same subject, because even now to this point, maybe we've been talking like 5 minutes. Stop and think for a second. It sounds simple. It's easy to write it off. Some people are going to listen to that and it's going to click. A light bulb is going to come on and you're going to get it, and it is going to change the rest of your life, the way you create things for yourself. Some people are going to shrug it off at first and then come back. Say, wait, there was something there. I kind of felt that there was a nugget of truth there. I need to go back and watch that. And then I need to go back and think about a day I just had, or this last month, or last year, or something you're afraid of in the future. And then there's other people who are going to click away, and they're going to need to hear it or watch it in another video, maybe a different analogy that I can use, a different story, but they're going to need to hear it in a different way. But if you're with me now through this first 5, 8 minutes, almost 10 minutes, whatever it might be, something is resonating with you. You're here for a reason, because you can feel like you're stagnating. You just can't get off these train tracks where things just seem to happen to you and you're just going along. Tomorrow you might wake up and you're just like, oh, here we go. This is another day. Another day where something unexpected and bad is going to occur to me. Do you ever feel that? And sometimes when you're falling asleep at night, you just have this like anxiety about what's going to happen to me tomorrow. But that's also a very powerful time when you're falling asleep to turn those thoughts around, because that's when your subconscious mind becomes more active and it kind of sticks with you while you're sleeping overnight. It might even show up in your dreams overnight. But then you're going to have this feeling change when you see this. And if you're one of those people who are watching now and you saw that immediately, what is your perception of tomorrow? Did you actually kind of laugh a little bit when you look back at yourself when you had the bad day and everything was happening to you, and you're like, why didn't I notice my own power and my own just, I like the word efficiency. Like I'm so good at bringing bad things in my life, just flip it around. I laughed at myself when I realized it because I'm like, all that drama, all that victim self-talk where I'm like, life is these bad things are just happening to me. All of it became funny at that point. And it wasn't funny when I was going through it. But once I saw through that veil, that fake idea that the world and that life is occurring to us, that we're a victim of things that are occurring rather than we're the creator of things. Don't try to use your logical mind. Don't attempt to just wrap your logical mind around it and then try to figure out a path for the next day, week, year, whatever, and know how things are going. It's more about your feeling. It's more about, I'm not afraid of that anymore. I'm not afraid of the bad things happening to me anymore because I recognize that it's not just coming to me from a world that doesn't like me. I don't have bad luck. I'm not cursed. All those things are narratives we get. And so if we keep going back, if you've had the realization in this video, where if you're just kind of almost there, but you're not quite there, we have to keep going through it and keep rewriting the narrative because the narrative is whatever you make it. If you say the world occurs to me, everything happens to me, then it's going to. But if you accept the fact that you can see it a totally different way and that you can create a day where good things happen to you, and then you feed off that day, and a good week happened to you, and you just keep going and going, and the path becomes easier, more worn in. Your conscious mind starts to accept, yeah, this is actually true. Where your subconscious is already accepting it, your conscious mind will start to bring up resistance, like, no, this is too good to be true. And then you might have a bad day. And it's going to be a challenge for you to say, no, this is just me trying to reaffirm in my conscious mind that this is too good to be true and the old bad ways are going to come back. This wasn't real. This was just, I just watched a silly YouTube video and some dude talking about manifesting and creating. But you don't try to fight that feeling. Just turn right away from it and realize what you saw. Come back to the realization, no, it actually is true. So you could have days where you're having resistance again because your conscious mind is going to want to go to something that's familiar. It's going to want to say, and this is going to sound crazy, but I think you'll identify with it. I'd rather feel right and unhappy than not know what's going on, but have good things happening to me. Think about that again. I would rather feel right and be with the familiar and be unhappy rather than be in the unknown and something new and unfamiliar and yet have things happen to me that are wonderful and great. That sounds crazy, but it's absolutely true. And that's why a lot of times when people are trying to change their life and manifest or create or identity shifts, whatever term you want to use, right when they start to do that, seemingly bad things will start to happen, or you'll feel massive resistance, or you'll get anxious or afraid. Nothing has actually changed, but you're seeing these things because you're walking into an unfamiliar ground of where you are actually creating something that's totally new to you. You're recognizing a power that you have that's totally new to you. And when you do that, your conscious mind gets afraid. It's like in the other video that we talked about, where a lot of people make a mistake about trying to muscle their ego and their mind into cooperating with their subconscious and with their positive desires and their manifestation. And where if you had a nervous dog in a corner, which is your mind and your ego, looking at this new path, you wouldn't rush up to it and force things on it, right? You would talk to it in a calm voice. You would maybe give it a treat, and then you would do this over repetition until the dog realized, wow, this is not bad. This is actually pretty good. And it might nip at you or growl or something in the beginning. That's the resistance coming up. But you don't fight the dog. You don't kick the dog or try to restrain the dog. You're going to get bit, and things are not going to go well. So you don't fight the mind and the ego. You coax them. You teach that this is a safe thing. You can have everything you want without the worry, without the struggle, without feeling lost and like you're in a big world and you're just a little small victim. That's not the reality. So I'll leave it there. I'm going to come back to this subject. And again, I'm so passionate about this particular realization, and everyone will have something different that's pivotal for them. I've had several different things, but I think this is one of the biggest ones. And so I want to come back to the pivotal ones over and over and over again. Who knows which video is going to go viral or hit the algorithm and a lot of people watch it. And I would just encourage, even if this is something that's kind of like almost there for you, the realization's almost there, rewatch it. Listen over and over again. Not because I want views, but because you're wearing in these new pathways. If you had a sudden realization during this video and you feel like you woke up and you're like, I totally understand what he's talking about, then you don't need to necessarily watch the video over and over again, but then you need to think about your own life and like where these examples come from. Think about a bad day or a bad experience and how you might have brought that to yourself. And then think, now that I see that, I can just let that go. What did you feel when you saw that? Did you laugh a little bit? Was it more just a sense of like relief? Or maybe there was a little bit of relief with some of that conscious mind and ego stepping in, some resistance mixed in as well. You can have all those experiences and none of them are wrong. If you're watching this video and you don't feel like you see it, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you're just not ready at this moment. But that's just because you believe you're not ready. It doesn't mean you're not worthy of it. It doesn't mean you're not smart enough to understand it. You can get it. You can get it and you can see it in your own life. And you can experiment with it, even with small things. Little tiny things. Watch the resistance pop up. Watch the good day happen. See what your reaction is to a good day, a fabulous day where you didn't do anything to quote unquote deserve it. How does your subconscious feel? How does your heart feel versus how does your mind and ego feel? Take an inventory of like all these different layers of yourself and how they react to just having exactly what you want with really no struggle. You can even put effort in. You can act, but there shouldn't be like a struggle. Like sometimes I work really hard in the stock market, doing data analysis, trading, watching charts, but it doesn't feel like a struggle. It's work, it's action, but it's flow. It's pure flow. So I'll leave it there. I'm not selling anything. I'm not planning on having any subscriptions or courses or merchandise or anything like that. So likes and subs would be a great way for you to, I don't want to say pay me, but to show support. Likes and subs are free. Sharing the videos, sharing the channel, commenting, all those things are free ways that you could not only help other people by helping the algorithm see my new channel, but it's also just a free way to support me. I'm not asking for money. Again, I don't have any plans on asking for money or anything like that. If it comes up at a certain point that people want some kind of a, I don't know all the lingo for YouTube, but like donations or memberships or whatever. If people want that, if the demand wants that, that's totally cool with me. but I'm not going to ask anyone for that. So if you could like and subscribe and share the videos and comment, I'm not going to judge anyone's comment. Even if you don't agree with me, it's totally okay. I would love to hear why you don't agree or why it doesn't work for you, why what I just said doesn't resonate with you. It's okay because there was a lot of times when I didn't feel that. I felt like the world was happening to me. I didn't feel like I could create good things and just have them occur in my life. So don't be afraid that this has to be an echo chamber in the comment section and you can just, you'll get flamed by people because you're not on board with manifestation or self creating. Express your views. I value what you think and what you feel in this very moment. So I just want to throw that out there. And some of the stuff that I talked about relate to the earlier videos. So if you want to watch, I think I only have 4 prior videos. If you want to watch the 4 prior videos, this is all going to tie together. And you'll start to see that there's so many different threads in life that all come back to the same thing. And we complicate it with so many different strategies. And it's all going to tie together. It's all going to come together if you just come along this journey with me and you explore it as I'm exploring it. So I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying to the end of the video, and I will see you in the next one.